Oh my God, crack me up. Crack me up, Tom Benton. It's like by the hair of your chinny chin chin, man.
Yeah, Gabe's right. Do not say my name 3 times.
Or
I'll
a
appear.
clock, like a
Tom Benton,
clock.
Tom Benton, Tom Benton. I love it. I'm glad you're here. All right.
This is old
Well,
school tea time right here.
I know, isn't it great? I know. It's good. I
Not
we
a romantic
survived
book in the line.
I saw the greatest meme ever that we survived the year January.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You are not
Yeah.
lying.
Ah, yep,
I
the
guess
original crew here, Beth.
I guess we can say that because we're on tea time and it's February, right?
It's February.
But
Yes. Holy
survive,
moly.
I'm not sure what that really
I don't
is.
know what that means. I guess because we're on tea time. We're gonna talk about some books. We made it. Whew. Um, what if this is a Harper book. Gabe, it might have been out when you were The Californians.
Nine. No.
Nine?
Never heard
Nine.
of it. Never heard of
Oh,
it.
The
it's
Californians.
called The Californians.
That's my
Reminds you a little bit, and it was oh, how quickly we forget. And I'm picturing his face. Um, Steve Atinsky.
Ah,
It,
yes.
it, it reminds me of one of the Russell, I think was the last name, that wrote Devil's Playground. Very reminiscent of that. It's very good. I don't think there's like a weird, creepy murder happening, but it's just more of like old Hollywood, like
Oh.
California.
The novel,
Like
Brian Castleberry.
the
Yeah.
new one,
Yeah. The Californians by Brian Castleberry.
maybe. I didn't see who the author was. I should bring the book.
When's it coming out?
Um, April, May, maybe.
And is it but it's historical?
It's historical-ish,
11.
because it spans 100 years, but it's kind of goes back and forth, hits on the starts out with a wildfire,
Like,
um, not in but in up in Northern California. That's kind of the start of it, but then it like traces this with family back 100 years. There's old filmmaking, um,
Looks fun.
Sounds
yeah, it
great.
does.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
we're all intrigued.
It's actually very good, and I like the way that it's like set up, and there's it's really well done. It's really
Yeah, it
well
looks like
done.
one of
So
those things that every once in a while you get one of those finds that's just a really good story, good story.
yeah, a little bit of what was the one Properties of Thirstish a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
So it's got a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on in it. Hi Don, how are you? I'm glad that you finished the Woodrow Wilson book. Um, but yeah, it probably was disturbing. So, all right. I think everybody's here that's going to be here and we're recording, so the people can catch up and watch later if they want. So it's going to go Andrea, Gabe, and Tom. So Andrea, take it away.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be back. I missed you all.
Missed you too.
I missed all of our readers out there. But here I am. And the first book I want to talk about is from Europa Editions. And anybody who watches this regularly know that that's one of our great books in translation imprints. And this is Ghosts of Rome by Joseph O'Connor. And there's a lot of fans for his work at
Are you
Warwick.
sharing screen by any chance?
Oh, sorry. Oh, let me see. Okay, let me get there. Let me get there. Sorry, guys.
You don't have to.
Well, I will. I just totally forgot about that.
How long has
Um,
it been, dude?
I know. I'm like out of it. I'm like, it's like I need to relearn how to ride a bike.
Leave it to Gabe to just like
No, I know. I mean, it's mercy. He's merciless. Let's face it.
that's why I love him. That's why we love him.
Here you go.
There we go.
Rome. And there's a big stack right now of this at Warwick's, and in the final months of World War II, there is a Irish priest who's stationed in the Vatican. He's the top priest, basically, at the Vatican, and he is in full battle mode against the Nazi officer who is running Rome. and oppressing the peoples. And so that tension is great in the character development of these two characters and how they are pitted against each other is really the stuff of, cinematic greatness. And he has what they loosely term the choir, and it's a group of civilians that get together under the pretense of singing, and then discuss how they're going to get allied prisoners of war and people who have landed behind the lines, basically out of Rome and into allied territory. And so it's a motley crew of different folks that are in this resistance movement in the choir, some of high birth, some of low, and everything in between. And they all have all their stories are told over the course of this book and the first book in this series, My Father's House. This can be read. If you haven't read the first one, you can read this. It doesn't really matter. But if you do start with this one, I know you're going to want to go back and read My Father's House, which is also great. And so the thing that I really like about this book is that it can work as like a cracking good espionage novel, very commercial, really, as we say in the trade. But it's also literary. I mean, it's got its literary chops, great historic novel, and I mean, people have been saying basically that, it's up there on par with like Graham Greene. So, I mean, so it's nice to hear that. And I'm just a big fan of this guy's work. So there you go.
So yeah, the first one was terrific. It was really good. Dee and Beth are on here talking about the first one. So second one's here. So
Yep.
there we go.
Exciting.
And look what Gabe's got.
I'm kicking myself because I still want to read the first one, and now the second one's out. Okay.
Well, I need to I'll send you those. So
I think I need them. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
you do.
it's really good. It is really good. So yay. Yeah, Shadow Play is the one that Amanda's always been talking. If you haven't read that one, read Shadow Play too.
Yeah, that one's amazing too about
Shakespeare.
No.
Oh no, Bram Stoker.
Bram
That's
Stoker
yeah.
and some great thespians from that period.
Good to go. All right, thanks, Andrea. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
All right, Gabe, take it away.
So I'm going to present the Fall of Egypt and the Rise of Rome, which has been out a few weeks, but we sold out of it in the store really pretty quickly. Like at the holidays, we got a few more in. And it is a book that I don't think there are a lot of them out there. It's a Yale University Press book. So Yale, as Andrew was talking about, commercial reads, they tend to do more heady academic writings, but occasionally they do all these publishers do a really fun, accessible, strong nonfiction book, and this is a really fun, I think, historical look at the end of the Ptolemaic Empire in Egypt as Rome is rising and Augustus is about to come over. But you see the last days of an empire, the last days of Egypt, which are always fun to read about. And January kind of felt like that. So that's the premise, and you're looking at the Cleopatra the Seventh is the Cleopatra that we know when we talk about Cleopatra. It's Cleopatra the Seventh. I think Hachette had a book on the various Cleopatras that Julia presented a while ago. So it fills in this history. It's like, you're always seeing all these books, the history books. It fills in this part where you sort of have leapfrog. You go from like the Sun King and Ramses and 3000 BC, and when you talk about Egypt, and then you always fast forward, and all of a sudden you're in like 54 BCE, and Augustus is coming over, and what the hell happened in between. Well, this fills all that in a really interesting way. So
Hmm.
I can't say enough about this one. I really subject matter for any historian. I think is going to love it because, like I said, there's that spot that we just have leapfrogged for whatever reason. It's been inconvenient. There's too many years in between there where we don't know exactly what happened, maybe. But the research is great, and I think coming from Mail, it's a pretty trustworthy source.
Yeah, that sounds so. Do we really want to read? I mean, oh God, the fall of things scares me.
Oh yeah. All systems end in entropy, the second law of thermodynamics.
Mhm.
All systems end in entropy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Love it. All right, that's a great one. All right, Tom, what do you got?
All right. I have one of, kind of like to me, like personal favorites of the year, just for so many reasons. Geraldine
Oh,
Brooks Memorial Days on sale tomorrow. So been, reading and selling Geraldine Brooks for her whole career. So this is the story, so difficult to write, but not difficult to read somehow, but it's about her experience grieving the death of her husband, Tony Horwitz. And why it's so special, it feels so special to me and to Penguin is that not only have we published Geraldine Brooks for book after book, but we were the final publisher of Tony Horwitz. Penguin Press was publishing his book. So what happened is in 2019, Tony was out on book tour and in Washington, D.C., and he just dropped dead. And so he was, 60 years old, in good health as far as anyone could tell. So Geraldine Brooks is, obviously a shock. She has children, and the book is just brutally honest about everything and that whole experience. She goes back and forth between that precise time when from the knock on the door to find out. Um, and she's dealing with everything that everyone would deal with. I mean, she's dealing with you know, bills and things that are so much is out of her control. Um, she's not allowing herself, and at the same time, she's writing Horse. So in a way, this is a companion to Horse. So if you read
mm,
Horse, this is what was happening in her life while she was writing Horse. Um, she didn't allow herself to grieve. So it alternates between that time period and then I think 3 years later when she booked a flight to her native Australia, remote island called Flinders Island, which she stays in a shack by herself and then really lets herself feel the things that she had been not allowing herself to feel. Um, it's beautiful. Geraldine Brooks is always a beautiful writer, very precise, but never more than in this book. Um, it's not long, which I love about it too. It's jewel. I feel like it's a jewel of our list. Like it's just perfect. It's just perfect. And I think, and it's in conversation. It has to be in conversation with Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. And I think it will be a modern classic like that was. It's also so poignant because Tony was her first reader and editor. And so this is the first book without him,
oh,
written
wow.
without him, the whole process written without him. So there's so much here. Um, but if you love Geraldine Brooks, you will love this book. Um, the reviews are just starting to run. The LA Times says her memoir is certainly a testament to her own unique loss, but it's moreover a lifeline to others who will find themselves in this familiar, shattered landscape of grief. So, beautiful, beautiful memoir. Geraldine Brooks Memorial Days on sale tomorrow.
And Andrea said it best, the Empress Brooks, because
Yeah.
she's just singular in how
Yeah.
she writes and what she writes, and it's going to be I can't wait for everybody to be able to read it, and we're hosting her.
That's
Kidding
fantastic.
me? That is so great. How lovely is that?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
she is
One of the rare, because this is such a, difficult book in so many ways. She's not doing a huge tour, so
yeah. So we were very lucky. And so San Diego's very lucky. So if you're in the area, please get tickets before I anticipate this event selling out. I think it's on the 21st of this month. So yeah, this is gonna be a big book.
yeah. They met as young foreign correspondents, Tony Horwitz and Geraldine. They were both And that's what to her is so many things so unimaginable. But he survived so much in such dangerous conditions, and then he's on book tour. So
Ugh, just tragic.
yeah.
That is.
Thanks, Tom. All right, Andrea, what do you got next for us?
Oh God, see, I did it again. I'm not ready.
It's okay.
Oof. I don't have my sea legs today. Okay, can you see that? Is it up?
No,
There it
that
is.
one is.
Okay, so I want to talk about Enigma Girl from Henry Porter. The Financial Times says from that basically Henry Porter is one of our most accomplished thriller writers, and I have to agree. Not, I mean, he's not as well known as we think he should be here in the States. The Grove Atlantic publisher, Morgan Entrekin, basically takes time out of his busy schedule to edit this guy's work. He doesn't do that for everybody. He's got a lot going on, and that says something to you, right? Right there. And basically, Slim Parsons is the protagonist here, our spy, an M15 operative goes on into deep cover to solve financial crimes and gets involved with the when she's in deep cover, gets close to a dastardly monster who tries to rape her basically on a plane, and she gets out of that scrape, but then has to she doesn't kidnap. She then like forces the private plane to land in Montenegro or something, gets away, is on the run through Europe with a whole passel of fake passports, out of touch with her bosses, back in England, finally gets back to the homeland, but they're mad, they're pissed. And she's on leave forever, and then she gets pulled back into something. They need her particular talents. And so she gets pulled back in to a situation where she's basically investigating a newspaper organization, but it definitely has the feel of something like Julian Assange. Like they're doing a lot of they're hacking into the government and spilling secrets, and so M15 wants that to stop. And Slim, who is quite the character, she dates girls and boys. She's a charmer. Her weapon of choice is a pickaxe. Okay. And she basically, while she's again undercover in this organization, has to spring a bunch of people that are they have been kidnapped from all over and are basically modern day slaves. And she has to break some people out of this farmhouse area with her pickaxe. And it is a rollicking, fun read. It's something like 430 pages long. I basically I couldn't sleep. I stayed up until 2 o'clock 2 nights in a row to finish it because it's so great. So it works on a lot of levels. Great story. And the espionage and the technology is so well done. And I mean, Henry Porter knows what he's doing. This is for fans of Mick Herron from Slow Horses. Some other person said, the Evening Standard said that Porter fills the gap left by Len Dayton and Jean Le Carré. So just to let you know, this is of that caliber.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it does sound, I mean, completely up Morgan's like alley as far as just everything about it just
Yeah.
speaks to him as a publisher for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he really does like the British espionage stuff, and he brings a lot of great writers to it. Um, he I don't know. I
Yeah,
really like the folks that he acquires for the list. So
definitely. He's got one of the best lists in the business for sure. Okay, gonna change subject just a little bit before we get to you, Gabe, because Dee's on here asking a question. Um, Not sure if anyone knows, but there's a price of books going up because of tariffs, which I understand would not be the fault of publishers, but yikes, I worry about certain people that can't afford it. We were running a children's book drive in March for Women's History Month. I don't know the answer to that question.
I think last I heard, we were moving away, as a publisher, moving away from China. So they were trying to diversify because China's muddled and could be messy
Right.
in the future, I think. So I think most publishers have been trying to find. I mean, we were printing in Italy and Vietnam now. So I think there are other places that have started printing. So I don't know. I imagine, I was gonna say it's an excuse to raise prices, maybe.
Right, because I think
Then I thought, oh,
I definitely think there's going to be that where people are just going to raise prices. It's like, welcome to American capitalism. They're going to raise
something
prices
else.
just
Yeah.
because they can.
I
Well,
said that, then I thought, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. Then I like, oh wait, I don't work for a publisher.
Yeah.
I would say that publishers have been raising prices without tariffs in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
uh, yeah.
Yeah. So I
And
think
I
that
know that at Penguin Random House, they are concerned about the tariffs in terms of pricing and have told us prices will likely go up.
yeah. Because I mean, Canada and Mexico, no, because we don't really do any printing there. It's China is
Yeah.
where whatever tariffs there are that come from China would be affected, I think. But
And I think I heard a number somewhere in we do 30, 20 to 30% of printing.
got it.
But I'm sure Gabe's right. We've been trying to do as much as we can.
Well, I mean, that's to the point of just diversifying. Oh, did I use that word? Um, where everything's done, so that you don't get caught in that.
Right, paper pulp is
Yeah,
your toilet paper is going to go up.
that's D. There you
Your
go.
toilet paper is
Canada
gonna
provides paper.
go.
But to Don's point, supposedly it's been suspended for 30 days. Who knows?
We'll move on. We'll
Yeah.
forget about it. You know how it is. Create a problem, then solve the
Right.
problem.
Yeah. We solved it. It's all taken care of.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
We've seen it all, so we've
Where's
seen it.
my emoji, the throw up emoji? Anyways, Gabe, rescue us.
I'm going to. I was clicking buttons while you were talking
There you
because
go.
I got
Perfect.
stuff to do, girl.
We got stuff to do,
Busy.
places to go.
Busy with this retirement thing. Uh, tough nap today. Tough nap today. Didn't really. Not very satisfactory nap today.
It's a little overcast here, so it's
I'm a
good
little
nap weather.
fuzzy.
It's good nap weather.
If I was a little fuzzy, my second nap today didn't go well.
What are you, a hobbit?
I'm shooting for dogdom. They're like dogs sleep like 19 hours a day or something. Just the bed sores are getting to me. The couch
Oh
sores.
my God, you're killing me.
Um, don't hate me. So the Oathbreakers. This book also came out a while ago, but I was really excited when this. Every once in a while, the last book actually I saw got excited when I looked at it on the shelf and I read it. The jacket I thought was kind of weird, but I read the insides and I'm like, ooh, I got a real excitement about it. And then this was one of the last books I sold at Harper, The Oathbreakers, by Matthew Gabriel and David M. Perry, who were the authors of a book called The Bright Years.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Last year, a big fat book, which was an interesting look at the Middle Ages, all the progress that actually occurred in the Middle Ages. They weren't as dead as people claim, and they were very fertile, and a lot went on. And that book got a lot of attention. And so in this book, they're turning their attention to the Carolingian Empire, and it's the ninth, 10th century. The Carolingian Empire is the empire that Charlemagne um, founded, or is the father of and of the Franks, and everything is going along real well. Speaking of things falling apart, here I go again. I'm on a trend. things are going along really great. The empire is thriving. Charlemagne has united these things. His sons have done a good job keeping as much of the empire together as possible, and the heirs variously through a few hundred years. And then the wheels start coming off, and they come off really fast. They come off really violently. And again, it's like one of those chapters where, like, I didn't know that. And I actually, there are no books written. I mean, think about a book you've ever seen on a books in a bookstore on a bookstore shelf talking about the Charlemagne at all or the Carolingian Empire. I'd never seen it. I read a book when I was a kid, a novel about Roland, one who is associated with Charlemagne, but it was like a little kid's book, and then like really hard to find. So I was really excited when I saw this book, like really excited. And then you open it up, and then I realized it was these two authors who really have an interesting uh, perspective on things and are pretty lively writers. And I just want to make sure that if you haven't picked it up yet, it's a big audience for this book. I think it's something a little different for the history reader.
There you go. Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Darcy's talking about, yeah, fascinating subject is what Dawn has to say to you about that game. And then This Is a Love Story is and the Snowbirds coming up. And Liz. Oh, look what Tom's gonna talk
Perfect
about,
timing,
Darcy.
perfect segue.
Wait. I've got that
Love-
happened to be sitting on my desk, and the next one that she was talking about
Oh,
was
that's
the
great.
Snowbirds. These
We are
just
so
happened to be
tapped
sitting-
in here, and our audience is so tapped in.
I love it.
Well, so This Is a Love Story by Jessica Sofer, on sale tomorrow. This is a big book for Dutton for sure. This is and it's not her first novel, but it's the first one we've published. And it's a love story. It is a love story. So it's about two, Abe and Jane, who have spent their life together over 50 years. And now Jane is ill, and Abe is recounting their lives together. So in a certain way, it reminds me a little bit of last week's Jonathan Evison, The Heart of Winter. That was also about a couple that had spent a lifetime together. What's different about this book is the Central Park. So it's a love story to Central Park as well. So if you can see, like, through the letters, that's Central Park. And Central Park, now we sometimes say that a city or a region or a park is like a character in the book. But this is actually Central Park is a narrator of the book. One of the narrators of the book. So it is really a character, very much a character. So it's a beautiful story of their love. These are two creative people who've raised a kid, and it's about, the compromises of marriage, the losses, the entirety of it. So it's a love letter to a life spent together, to New York City, to Central Park, and really beautifully told. And then this morning, Jenna Bush Hager on the Today Show announced that it is the February pick for the Read with Jenna pick, Read with Jenna Book Club. And she said, this was from this morning, this may be the most epic love story I've ever read. So there you have it. This is a love story on sale tomorrow.
And it is so good, and it really is uniquely told.
Yeah.
It really is. And so it's like you think, oh, it's just going to be this love story. It's like, no, it's really got something special.
Yeah, that is what stood out for me too, is the way it's told.
Yeah.
She pulls off these different perspectives, including the park itself.
Right. Yeah.
Really well.
So no, very, very good. So there we go. Love it. Well, we are lightning through this, so we're already at lightning round.
Three professionals, Jules. Three professionals.
Three
on here.
professionals, man. And Gabe, we're working with your schedule because we know you probably got to go do something important. So
I have to pick up my wife so we can get.
that's important. That's important stuff.
And have the
All
dinner
right.
conversation.
I love it. Okay. All right, Andrea.
In Our Midst.
Ooh, I love this cover.
I know, it's great, isn't it? This is from Nancy Jensen, from one of our small but mighty indie presses, Dezank books. And this is a historical novel of note, covering a little-known episode in our history when thousands of German immigrants were rounded up and interned following the attack in on Pearl Harbor. Everybody knows about the hundreds of thousands of Japanese Americans who were put into camps, but there were a few, not a few, thousands. There was thousands of Germans
Hmm.
that went into camps, and I believe some Italian Americans as well. And this revolves around the story of one family who's basically trying to cling to the ideals that they believe in America, even while America like throws them in the slammer. And so we follow the stories as they're really trying to like stay in touch, like keep their heads above the roiling seas, and just really incredible writing. And I mean, it got great reviews. It got starred reviews from all of the uh, the book the book review outlets. And I think that anybody who's interested in reading about this period in American history should pick this up because it is a story that really hasn't been told as much as the Japanese American experience during that time. So there you go.
There you go. And Dee has already read it, said it was great, and it's a winner for lovers of historical fiction. So good on you, Dee. Head of the curve there.
Steve,
I
you're
love it.
killing it.
And then Beth, yeah, they were imprisoned in Minnesota, which must have been horrific conditions that they're there. And I know there were other places too. So
Yeah, that's pretty cold up that way to be in a camp.
yeah. Yep. And hot in the summer too, I imagine. Okay, Gabe, you did a switcheroo on me here. I almost let Tom go first because you're on a different part of my screen now. So Gabe's next.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
God, I know, making me pay attention.
You know? Gabe left. So the other day, Deborah came home and she was, look what I got today. And I was
Wait, you're on the book.
yeah, oh, yeah. Because
Oh.
dude, let me control
Oh,
the
you're okay.
presentation.
All right,
And
all
I
right,
want to like jump into now it's
all
all
right.
What's up? What's
Yeah.
up? You're napping. You're napping.
Forget it, man. Now it's like I'm trying to introduce a little drama into this
Okay, you got
thing.
drunk. I'm like, Gabe.
Now we're gonna be fighting. It's like I got a system.
All right.
So no,
Zip
that's
it.
so yeah, so Deborah came home the other day and she goes, look what I got. And you know what? It's like every once in a while, I don't know if I got verklempt or I was left kind of breathless by this, but I just was emoted when she pulled it out of the bag. And it's a great looking book on top of that. It's a Century of Fiction, the New Yorker short stories from 1925 to 2025, edited by Deborah Treisman. And it was like one of those things where I just connected with this book like immediately because A, it's great looking. It's got this
Yeah,
great
no
green
kidding.
binding. It's got blurred out. But it it is so good. It is um the way it's edited, she edited stories and she picked stories. Some of these stories I was just why yeah, they appeared in the New Yorker. I was like, holy crap, so many of these amazing stories appeared in the New Yorker first. Dennis Johnson, Ann Beatty. I mean, just think of an author, John Cheever, Saul Bellow,
Hmm.
Raymond Carver, and all the stories that have appeared in the New Yorker. That's where we got the look. And I grew up reading the New Yorker and just you waiting for the fiction and you go to and you scan for the poems. And I hear there's a poetry edition. I was hoping my friend Liz would be on so I could be like, maybe you want to send a brother the poetry collection because I think Deborah said there was one of those available as well. But I just have a long history of the New Yorker for there's a Yehuda Amichai poem that I had on my fridge for like 20 years that was in the New Yorker. But the stories are so. I was just like, every story is just so good. And it was really, if you're a book lover, if you're a short story lover, One of my favorite classes in college was a short story class, and then in grammar school we read short pieces a lot. So the Mask of Red Death and the Most Dangerous Game. I just remember, um, as you filter, you did read short stories early on in your life. The Cask of Amontillado, Edgar Allan Poe story, and then transitioning into college, and then you get a collection like this, and you're just, I mean, we were like, it's upstairs, and we will battle over it. We should probably have two copies of it, but what are you going to do? We don't need two
Um,
copies of it.
Amazing though, how much fun or like how to put that collection together must
Oh,
have just been,
yeah, absolute joy.
Well,
yeah.
joy, but also probably difficult because of the stories you have to leave out, because you know there are more than what's in this
I
book
mean,
that
it's
I
they're
mean,
only
putting over.
it's only like 700 pages. No, it's
Wow.
over 1,000, almost
Yeah, it's
1,100
like
pages.
1125 or something.
Yeah, 1,100 plus.
Well, I'm
Wow.
looking at some of like it goes through. I mean, I'm like you said, there's Salinger, there's Annie Proulx, there's
Annie Proulx, yeah, Brokeback Mountain's in
Shirley
here.
Jackson.
Shirley Jackson, The
Yeah.
Lottery. The Lottery was in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
I read somewhere just recently, it must have been in the New Yorker, that was the story that they received the most negative mail about because people were absolutely stunned.
Aghast.
Seriously.
Yeah.
At the bottom here, I put a link on the bottom of my
Wow.
presentation sheet here. That's 15 stories. You can actually access those through the New Yorker. And they're not from here necessarily, but obviously a lot of them are represented in this collection. I was looking at them. Dennis Johnson. Anyways, it's a good little 15 short stories that you can access that are all really, really good. So I'll leave it on there. You could copy it.
Are those the same ones that are in the book?
Can
Uh,
you put it
mo-
in the chat? Can you do that?
oh yeah, a lot of them are.
Okay.
I did. So I'll put it. Can I? Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
All right.
Some free reading.
From free reading. While you're waiting for your order to arrive from Warwick's.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Anyways, for me, thrilling. It was a. I'm still so excited about this.
And you're right, it's a
Oh,
really
it is.
good looking volume too. I mean, the cover, everything about it is like you want that on your coffee table.
so good. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, Deborah and I are. She read the Dennis Johnson last night, and she was like, "Whoa, I'd never read Dennis Johnson before, but that wore me out." I'm like, he could be tough.
I love it.
It's everybody. Cheever, William Maxwell.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, Gabe. All right, Tom, wrap
Okay,
us up.
well, my book is different, but it would be rap malpractice if I did not talk about probably, well, certainly the biggest, most popular book we're going to publish tomorrow. That is Ali Hazelwood's
Oh.
Deep End. So when you read your New Yorker short stories, but you need a break and you need something to take your mind completely away, Ali Hazelwood, number one bestseller. So she's the queen of STEM romances. That has been her thing. Starting with the Love Hypothesis. Remember the Love Hypothesis? That was the book where a character named Tom Benton was the evildoer and those TikTok is filled with those people railing against Tom Benton. Luckily I don't think he makes an appearance in Deep End. But what's happened here, I mean, now granted, I am not a connoisseur of this genre. But she's written her first sports romance, and sports romances are also, so it's STEM plus sports, so it's a competitive diver and a swimmer, a diver and a swimmer. Steamy, and she's getting steamier by the book, apparently. I watched a TikTok this afternoon from a young woman who had read it, and she said that there were scenes she was reading it on an airplane. She was like looking over her shoulder to make sure no one was seeing like the scene that she was reading because it was as we say in the business, five peppers. It's very hot, very hot. So it's on. So and I think it's approaching kinky.
Oh,
Yeah, all good,
okay.
all
Okay.
good, All
Okay.
good. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Oh, and the first printing, of course, is paperback, but it does have all the bells and whistles. Beautiful. It has even these illustrated
Oh, and pages.
inside the paperback. So there you go. Pick up the friend. Yeah, the kink. That's the kink I was thinking. Part of the kink I was talking about. So
So now, when you Google yourself, Tom Benton,
as I
does
often
this
do,
does this all come up?
yes. And I still have not run into Ali Hazelwood to say like, what gives? What's up?
What are you doing to me here?
Tom Benton.
What did I do? What did I ever do to you?
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah, you got to mention Ali Hazelwood. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, on here, that was a Harper book, Dawn, and Amanda actually reached out to me directly, Bellows, when she wanted to do the event. So I think she had some local ties in San Diego. My brain, I can't really remember all the details of it. So glad that you liked the book. I don't know. I don't think I was at that event. So, anyway, so there you go.
And then
And
also I
go
see
ahead.
in chat an instance of the finger post. Oh my
This is right
goodness,
there.
that takes me back.
It's I think I talked about it. I don't know, as we were doing some like, throwback kind of thing on one of these. And we talked about an instance of the finger post. I actually got some of the booksellers at the store to read it that hadn't read it before.
Oh my God, what a great idea. It's such a great book.
It
Such
really
a great
is.
book. And it's still, I mean, no offense to Ian Pierce, because I have a few of his other books here. Nothing kind of stands up as well as that one.
Right.
So
I think,
just
luckily, I think
saying.
that might have been the only one we published, but it was a
Okay.
doozy, that one.
Yeah, because I've got some other ones here. In fact, they're like sitting right here. So if you like that, don't get too excited that his other ones are
But that is
Sorry.
that is a special, like,
Yeah.
stupendous, fantastic read.
And it's still what I'm so glad to hear though, and the people at the bookstore, the booksellers at the store said it too, is that it still stands up. It's like one of
And
those that
obviously I haven't read it since it was published, so that's really great to hear.
yeah,
That's a long time
because I
ago.
was a little worried because I've read it I don't know how many years ago too. And so one of the booksellers read it. I go, tell me it still holds. And she goes, oh yeah, it's still just amazing.
I mean, I want to say that was late 90s.
I think so too. I don't
It
have
has
it
to have been
here,
30 years.
at least.
Yeah, and I read it like 23 years ago or something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it came late.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see an instance.
2000.
I'm surprised that nobody's picked that one up for
Movie?
A movie.
Streaming.
or a
TV
limited
show.
series
Yeah, it should
Yeah.
or
be done.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Multiple parts.
remember what was the one, The Alienist?
Yeah.
Like that was a really good was that a movie or a show, I think.
TV
I can't
show.
remember. It was a TV show.
But
So
you're
I
right.
mean you
This,
could do
this would be
something
perfect for that. Yeah.
would be so good. Oh my God, it would be so good. So 1998, Kim, thank you very much for
98.
looking that up.
27 years ago.
Wow.
All right. Wait a minute. What is Amanda talking about? There's a new series of Little House on the Prairie. What are
I
y'all
heard
talking
that.
about?
Yeah.
Without what's her name? Is she gonna be the mom or something on it?
I think she's involved. You're talking about what's her
Yeah,
name?
Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah, I think she's involved.
Okay. She has to be.
It was
She is Little House on the Prairie.
the only reason I know of it is because she got into she instructed Megyn Kelly on what that the original show was.
Woke as
I
hell.
hate to even use the word woke, but it was woke back in the day.
I think she
Sorry.
said
Okay,
woke as
who's-
hell.
Okay, who's watched American Primeval on here?
What is that about? Scary?
Write that down. No, it's about, I can't think of the name of the massacre. It's I think the late 1800s, Utah, Mormons, Indians. It's on Netflix. It's six episodes.
Okay.
Adding it to the list.
Not woke.
It's a massacre.
Oh boy. Okay. No offense to anybody that's on here who is Mormon, because I don't want to offend anybody. But I'm always intrigued when when the Mormons don't like something, it intrigues me. It's like, okay, what is it that's happening here? I need to watch this now.
It's working the opposite at
Right. It's
they're
kind of
not
like when
working right
anytime that happens, and the Catholics don't like something, it's just like,
now.
Conclave. I'm going to watch Conclave.
Yeah.
That's how, right? Catholics are like, don't watch Conclave.
Right.
So, but I read Conclave. I haven't seen it yet, though. Did anybody just watch it?
I saw it.
Watch
Yeah, I
it?
thought it was,
Good.
great.
Yeah.
Totally.
Good, yeah.
Oh, I love the book.
Entertainment. A really
I
great
love the book.
entertainment.
Yeah, it was very
Good
entertaining
cast,
book,
well
so,
acted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don's on here. Yep. Conclave
Looked
was
good
great.
from beginning to end. It looked
Yeah.
good. Big,
Yeah.
big picture feel.
Hey, you put the Cardinals in the Sistine Chapel, and I'm in.
Right.
Well, you don't need anything else.
You don't need
Exactly.
anything else. What was it? Angels and Demons? It's like, come
Yeah.
on.
I saw some of the new Pope and I thought that was pretty good. Like I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
it like 10 years after it was made. And
Oh,
there was a lot of
amazing.
intrigue
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
That was-
and that
That
with
was pushing the limits of pushing against the Catholic Church, right? In a good way.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then it's an American Pope.
Yeah.
It's been
Well, wait a
playing
minute.
American
So was that the
and
new Pope, or because there was one with Jude Law called Young Pope?
Yeah, but then there's the new Pope too.
Oh, I was thinking of the young Pope.
But there's another
Young
one.
Pope is Jude
I was
Law.
too.
But that's
that was
Jude Law.
like,
That's Jude Law too. I don't know, one of them. And listen, for somebody who likes the ladies, he's super hot in that.
as a Pope. Just saying.
Oh yeah, boy, I'll tell you, yeah.
Just saying there. Okay, yes, there is a new Dan Brown coming.
That's
September
right.
of this, yes. So in September, look for a new. That will be a
All
talk
of us,
about.
all of us at Penguin Random House are saying our prayers. Yes,
That will be the new.
our
that
prayers
will
are
be,
coming true.
Yep,
Another
that
Dan
will be the
Brown.
new thing.
I read the last one. It was pretty good. Origins, I think it was called.
Origins.
Read it. It was pretty
You
good.
know, we don't always like he is the Scott Turow-ish. He's solid. He comes through. Comes through with his books.
I'll order it. I'll read it.
Hey, nothing was better than the Da Vinci Code when it.
I'm telling
Speaking
you.
of the book that the Catholic Church was completely
Yes.
twisted
Right.
off about.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
had
think that
friends-
actually might have gone up to the Pope and said, "Don't read this book."
I had friends who were like, my mom hates it. I read the Da Vinci Code. I'm like, what? They're like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like,
Oh
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was one that if you were a true Catholic, it's like your head was spinning around on that one. I remember that. That was great. Almost like The Exorcist back in the day.
That's true. I will say that my mom was a very devout Catholic, but she liked a good read, so she was all over that book.
There you go. I love it. Oh yeah, it's so good. So, anyways, American Primeval. If you're looking for something to watch, pretty violent. There's some.
I gotta check out, y'all.
All right, us too. So we'll
Good
see
seeing
everybody.
See you, Gabe.
Bye, Gabe. And we will see everybody
you.
next week. We have virtual event tomorrow called The Blob, which Maggie Sue, which is going to be super interesting. Can't wait for that. And then we're doing an offsite with Chris Hayes on Wednesday.
Oh,
So
right.
that's
That's
gonna
a book
be
that I'm in. I just haven't had a chance to talk about. So I'll try to talk about it next week, and then you'll have seen.
I'll give you a little bit of insight on that.
It's not it's a brainy book. I'll say that. And
Well, it's The Siren's Call.
yeah,
Don't know anything about what it's about, but Chris Hayes is actually been doing something for like over 10 years, which he's all into the whole, there's probably nobody that understands or knows the whole cryptocurrency thing
oh yeah,
more than he does, as far as a journalist goes. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's other people that do, but as far as a journalist
Yeah.
goes. So, I'm really intrigued and interested if the conversation's going to go there.
he's super smart.
Super smart. So, Beth, I'm glad that you like The Blob. So there we go. All right. Yeah, so that's Wednesday, and then we've got a local thing, Shaking the Tree, which is the local Memoir Writers Association group that's coming on Thursday. So nice little lineup this week.
Excellent.
Cool.
And don't forget, if you're anywhere near San Diego, Geraldine Brooks is coming at the end of this month through the 21st.
That is so great.
So great.
I hope that's really good for everybody involved.
It's going to be a great event. We've hosted her. We've been so fortunate to have hosted her several times. So,
Warwick is a great Geraldine. Always has been a great
Yeah.
Geraldine bookstore.
Yeah,
it's really,
it makes sense. It makes sense that that they always ask you again.
I love it.
They get you on the horn in New York from New York.
Get Julie on the horn.
Get Julie. I love it. Julie, yeah. It's like Mikey eating this live cereal. It's like get Julie.
I'm sure you
All
have a
right.
special button on those phones in those publicists' office.
I hope so.
No, and it's very different than Mikey, right? The cereal, because he'll eat anything.
He'll eat anything.
You are very discerning. You get only the best.
I get the best.
Only the best cereal for Julie.
Only the best cereal for Julian Warwick. All right, everybody. We will see you all next week. Happy reading. Tom, Andrea, thanks for coming. Thanks to Gabe for coming. So, we're in for a really good spring. Like I said, everybody was holding off on publishing at the end of last year. So, some really good books coming. So, as evidenced by today. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.